Sometimes we take it for granted when a great player plays great because it seems so normal. But what's going on with Kawhi Leonard? Let's talk about it. Since the early part of this year, since it began around January 8th, the Clippers have played 22 games, and Kawhi Leonard's averaged 28 points on 52% shooting, and he shot 49% from the three-point line. And, he only missed 4 games within that stretch, and he was logging in 30, 36, 37 minutes per game as well. So, when you look at that in its entirety, Kawhi Leonard has been playing lights out, and nobody has really even been paying attention. You don't hear the media speak about it. You don't hear the media speak on, how great he's playing. You just hear them speak on the same players as usual. You hear him talk about LeBron and, the other ones and KD's. But, Kawhi never nearly gets enough love that he should, because Kawhi is definitely a great player. He's definitely up there with those guys. And a lot of people sleep on him for real. But I never really understood why, because this guy is a machine. This guy is consistent, and this guy is really, really a great player beyond what some people even think about at times, because how he can control both ends of the basketball floor is unheard of. You don't really think of any other superstar that can control both sides of the floor the way Kawhi Leonard can. When you think of KD, you think of offense. When you think of LeBron, he was one of those type players that can do that, but now you don't think of him that way currently. And then it's a lot of other players that you might can throw some names in a hat, but regardless, they don't do it quite like the way Kawhi does it. And Kawhi, quietly, he's been really, he's been killing it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if this team can, find a way to, tighten up the screws on that defense, which I don't know how they're going to do that with Russell Westbrook. I just think Russ, he is such a liability when he's on the floor, whether on either end of the floor, defense or offense. I feel like it just messes up their psyche, as you've heard me say before, in regards to how they should play defensively and how they should attack other teams now. Whereas I think Terrence Mann would make a whole lot difference the way he was making before they actually inserted Russ in there by acquiring him after the buyout with Utah. So I understand all that, but the point is, we can't undermine the fact that Kawhi Leonard's been playing, lights out. He is shooting at a very high level in, every game. Like I said before, the Clippers, they ruined a few good games not a few, because he's had more than a few, but the Clippers have ruined, I know specifically, one game that I thought that was his biggest game, of course, was against the Sacramento Kings. He had 44 points that game, and the Clippers ruined it by giving up 176 points, to the Sacramento Kings. You can't allow that to happen. I think he followed up the night after. He had 34 points or 35 points somewhere in there, and they lost that game, of course. So it's the Clippers have ruined some of Kawhi Leonard's masterpiece games. And I will, say that, because that has been a part of the situation. And I feel like, that might hinder, Kawhi getting a little bit more, noticeability in his gameplay, because the Clippers haven't been winning. Of course, I understand that. We definitely get it, but we definitely have to understand this guy is great, and this guy has been showing how great he has been. And I feel like the media just sabotages him really, to the most part, because it's you never really hear them, give the man his credit. And, I don't know what Kawhi has to do to get his credit more, but I hope that, he continues to play the way he's playing. I hope that, he continues to just rise. I know Kawhi doesn't talk, and I feel like that, may hurt him in regards to the media, but I feel like he can throw it back in the media's face with his gameplay. And if he can help lead this team to a championship somehow, now. I don't know how they'll do it with Russ, but I really personally think they need to find a way to get Russ to come off the bench the way the Lakers did, because Russ being in the starting lineup, too much can go wrong. And when it does, he's always going to, have a lot of the blame on him, just the way he did with the Lakers. And I feel like that can get to Russ over time too. You know what I'm saying? Psychologically, he might be he'll feel like he's going through the same thing over and over again, in which he did with the Lakers. So, whether Kawhi, PG, or, Ty Lue, all of them need to sit down and kind of figure this thing out, and, let them know maybe coming off the bench would be a good thing. Because I just personally think that, Terrence Mann was perfect for them in the lineup. And I felt like Kawhi really trust Terrence Mann a lot more. And if Kawhi trusts you, then you're in good hands. But my point is, regardless of how this team has played, they are 1-5 these last, 5 or 6, these last 6 games. But, Kawhi Leonard has played, very well. Kawhi Leonard's played like the superstar we know he is. He's a top 3, top 5 player in the world. To me, he's still the best player when healthy. And really, he put it on display the other night against the Memphis Grizzlies, where they had to make that, huge comeback. Because I don't know how they gave up so many points, like 51 points in the third quarter to a Grizzlies team without none of their starters pretty much. And the Clippers, had to fight and claw their way out of that. Shout out PG. He put up 42 points. He was, he kept them afloat for a long time until Kawhi just erupted in the fourth quarter. Out of his 34 points, Kawhi scored 15 in that fourth quarter. And the way he scored those points really showed us, once again, as him reminding us once again, like, how great of a player he is, how great he is in the moment when you need him to be. And, when you have players do that, it's always good to get that reminder sometime of like, hey, can you flip that switch still? We know you can, but we just want to see it, and we want to, know that it's still there. And, that was just a little mini version of what, Kawhi will do. But I mean, it was good for the fans to see that, because, the Clippers were going down. They were going down in a way that nobody would imagine. If they would have lost to the Memphis Grizzlies without Ja Morant and the rest of the starters just about, and Brandon Clark, I think he got ACL injury or something like that. I think he's out for the season. So shout out to him. But the Clippers would have lost that game. Would have been a lot of the media would have really broken the Clippers in half, or at least tried to. But I'm glad the Clippers came out with the victory. But I'm glad that Kawhi, along with PG, I'm glad they didn't allow the Memphis Grizzlies to come in there and steal a game there's no way they should have won. And I felt like in the fourth quarter, Kawhi Leonard made sure that was going to be a part of the case, because he basically, when he came in, it was all business. Guarding Tyus Jones, he flipped the script offensively. He gave the Clippers like a 6-point lead, you know what I'm saying? So the Clippers, felt, they were comfortable where they are. They wasted a possession, I think, after that. But even still, Paul George got that rebound, put it back. And that really pretty much sealed it, right there, as far as, the Grizzlies coming back. Because Luke Kennard went 5 for 5 from the 3-point line. And it looked like, they were going to make a comeback. So, I mean, either way, I still think the Clippers would have won that game regardless. But, definitely looking at Kawhi Leonard in moments like that is really good to see, especially after him coming off of an ACL surgery and seeing him back to where he normally is. He looks like, the player he was before he actually went down with injury. He looks like that a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I'm ready to say that he's back. I hope that he stays healthy. I hope that this team, for the most part, stays healthy, because the Clippers have been the most injury-riddled team that has the talent to win a championship in the NBA. They have been, definitely, hindered by injuries and things like that. So I hope that they find a way to stay healthy. Hope Kawhi continues to play the way he's playing, because, by the time the playoffs hit, of course, the Clippers should be in that, barring anything crazy happening. But, Kawhi will be ready. And I think, him building more confidence in these games, as he's going, as he keeps playing, his confidence is only building. And the only problem is they got to find a way to start winning, with his confidence building as a player, because Kawhi going to do his thing and put up points and be the player that he is. But they have to find a way to start winning with that. And I think, with Kawhi's leadership, I think they will. And I think they'll all, I think that, they'll win more games, of course, but they have to really put it all together. And as long as Kawhi is playing at a high level, you always got a chance But it definitely scares me with Westbrook on the lineup. But you always got a chance with Kawhi Leonard, and I'm ready to see more of him. And I hope that he keeps balling the way he has, because regardless of the media giving him credit or not, he's definitely one of the top players in the league. And a lot of players, and pretty much all players in the NBA I can think of, nobody wants to see him in a 7-game series when he is on and when he is locked in, and if he got a decent team behind him. Because, I mean, usually, like I said, we see Kawhi, he can put a team on his back if he need to. So let's see what happens, going the season, ending this latter part of the season, going to the playoffs, and let's see what the Claw can do.